What are you doing with my bike, Yasuke? You, I'm sure, know of what this is about, Aydin. We covered it on last stream, so I won't go to it in great detail today. But if you have anything you want to add to it, go for it.
Nah, just the Yasuke stuff is stupid.
Yeah.
If you want to know my opinion, look at Metatron's video. He did a fantastic job covering the historical realities of Yasuke.
Yeah,
Metatron
I've seen some
always
of
doing good work.
videos. They seem good. Yeah.
Yep,
indeed. So for those who don't know, new Assassin's Creed game, black samurai main character appears to be totally ahistorical, and clearly an ideological race swap. And what I said last time, essentially, is that the problems with this are not the race. There have been good media with black people in it, good media with women in it, women main characters, black main characters, doesn't matter. The problem is three main things. One is the inauthenticity, because Assassin's Creed is at least somewhat historical and people want to get immersed in the world. If the character is so unbelievable, then it doesn't make any sense, aside from the fact that it wouldn't make sense for him to sort of blend in the world. The second thing is this is clearly ideological encroachment, and that's bad, from an ideology that we don't approve of, and so we don't want that to be happening in general, and so we don't want to support it. And the third thing is the kind of person who would do this arbitrary race swap is the kind of person who has no talent. And the correlation of that shouldn't be so 100% certain, but it is in practice. And we've learned that over the past 10 years or so. So we know it's almost certainly going to suck anyway. Those are the
so a couple things. The only things that I'd add to that is that, yes, Yasuke was a real person.
Yes.
But the difference is that in every other Assassin's Creed game, they've never had you play. Well, that's not true, because Assassin's Creed, the one that takes place in America, where you play as the Native American.
Yeah.
But it makes sense within. Yes, he's not the most typical kind of person in that setting. But for the most part, when Assassin's Creed is set in Italy, you're Ezio, you're Italian. When Assassin's Creed is set in, in Greece, you're Greek, right? This makes sense, although some of the Greek stuff was weird. But still, typically speaking, you're an assassin. You want to blend in. You know what doesn't blend in Sengoku era Japan? A 6-foot-tall black guy. Okay,
the G Prime comic on this was great.
You can't put your hood up on that shit and walk away.
Just saying. Indeed. He could be any one of us. He could be me. He could be you. He could even be Nagasaki over there. Yes,
Yasuke was a real person, but this is really bizarre choices, and it's no wonder the Japanese are not happy with it, because in any other Assassin's Creed game, for the most part, you've played again. I forget the name of the Connor is the guy in
3,
in 3, who's half native, I think, but it made sense in that context. This does not make sense. The fact that there was one black guy in Sengoku era Japan doesn't mean you should make him the protagonist.
He might not even have been combat trained. I don't think there's any evidence that he was combat trained. Was he combat trained?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Go check out Metatron's video. He goes over the historical documents. Okay. Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
He was, but we don't know anything about it other than that he.
There you go. Thank you.
Knew how to fight, and he was given to the He was given to the shogun by the Jesuits. He was given as a gift.
As a gift,
right?
Yeah. He was essentially a pet. Now, if they want to do like
he was a pet. He was actually given. He wasn't given land, but he was given positions of authority to a certain degree. That's true.
So if they want to do some sort of like exaggeration of his abilities and amp it up to make it more interesting for the game, you could argue, then it's still going to strain historical belief, and it's still a question of why that one person when you could have picked from anyone else. And as I say, it comes back to those three points I made earlier, I think, in the end.
It's also, though, this is the only time in all of Assassin's Creed history where the protagonist has been a historical character. In every other Assassin's Creed game, the protagonist is a fictional character for obvious reasons, because you're going to be doing ahistorical shit.
Yeah.
Right? So,
he's still historically very plausible. he still fits into the world. In this case, they pick someone who absolutely does not fit into the world, though technically he did exist there because he was a true oddity.
Even so, though, in every other Assassin's Creed game, you do not play as a historical figure. Yes. There are historical figures all around you that you interact with, but you, the play character, is not a historical figure because of the whole thing of you're going into the machine, I forget what it's called, and traveling back in time through your genetic memory or whatever to relive this stuff. And because you're part of the Assassins Guild or whatever it's called again, I've been wanting to play an Assassin's Creed game. You're the Animus. You're not supposed to be known. This guy is a known historical figure. That kind of fucks it up, doesn't it? It messes with the entire premise of Assassin's Creed. Why would you be playing as a known historical figure? You can interact with historical figures. That's part of the fun of Assassin's Creed. Playing as a historical figure screws it up.
Has Ubisoft actually confirmed that it is Yasuke and we're not just assuming that it's Yasuke?
Oh, actually, I don't know.
Because that would make a big difference here. If they were creating some new character that was black, that's probably even worse than it being specifically Yasuke. But it does remove all the arguments based in Yasuke's ahistoricity.
From what I just said, that would remove the arguments. They have confirmed him. So that's totally different from every other Assassin's Creed game where you play as a nobody for the reason of the assassins working in the shadows as they're supposed to.
Like I know that Assassin's Creed 1 is kind of old now, but I felt one of the main premises of that game is the reason that you have, or like in terms of game design, not in terms of the lore, but in terms of game design, the reason your character has the hood is so you could blend in with the monks, the specific monks who look exactly like that in the first game. Mm-hmm. You hold space and you walk along with them, with your praying. I don't know if there was exactly an analog in any of the other Assassin's Creed games, but still, that was the original reason. And this is so far from that it's
sort of blend in.
Yeah, you can't even, height-wise, even if you cover up everything about yourself, find me the Asian from that era who was 6 foot. Maybe there are a few, but it's pretty rare. What I said before, Aydin, is that if you had your character with one of those like samurai full like face masks on, covering the neck and also gloves, and all the skin was covered, it's a bit more
like a
believable.
null mask,
But it's still like
sort
if
of.
you ever take off the mask, then you're instantly recognizable.
Yeah, it's just,
and also the height, of course.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous. The height, the skin color, it's ridiculous. You can stick out like a sore thumb. You can't blend. You cannot be an assassin in the way that Assassin's Creed works if you look nothing like and are a foot taller than everybody else around you.
Yeah. Now, there's one alternative perspective we could take here, chat, which is perhaps too generous to Ubisoft, but it is funny, and that's that. Well, then we'll just take your game world as seriously as we take TF2 with the one-eyed black Scottish demolitionist.
He's my favorite character and my main.
He is pretty cool.
I love Demo Man.
Every character in TF2 is cool. How did they manage it? How did they manage it?
Valve used to be great. They don't do anything anymore, unfortunately.
They don't make games.
Have Steam. Yeah.
No, they don't make games. I wish. Well, they do occasionally, maybe Half-Life Alyx. But yeah, TF2. I feel like was kind of lightning in a bottle, which is why it's still there.
Well, you can't play it anymore because the source code got leaked, and now it's unplayable.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, you didn't know this? About 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, the source code got leaked, and it is now a legitimately unplayable game unless you're on private servers.
Yeah, that would explain why the botting apparently got so bad. Udemania says TF3 would actually absolutely bury Overwatch right now. How long has it been since TF2? Man, you're assuming the magic is still there.
Yeah, TF2 came out, let's see, the orange box is 2008. TF2 came out in 2006.
Yeah.
I think. Something like that.
You're assuming the magic is still there. If they just used the same formula but upgraded the security of the game, that would be great. People would be fine with that. The problem with that is
they can't update the security of the game because the source code was leaked.
No, I mean like a new game.
A new one, yeah.
They use all the same lore and all the same gameplay. Basically, don't change that at all, but just modernize the basis of the game. That would be fine.
Everyone would love it. Everyone would love it too.
But then Valve would have to release a 3. They don't do that.
And Valve can't do that.
Yeah.
Are they actually? Is that actually the issue with Valve, that they just are allergic to the number 3?
Okay, so it's become a joke for so long that maybe they are actually deliberately avoiding it.
I think they are. Gaben is just doing it on purpose, probably at this point.
They could just call it
sitting on his money.
They could just call it Team Fortress and then some city subtitle to avoid calling it 3. I mean,
there you go.
Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is the 3rd in that series. Half-Life 2 Episode 2 is the 4th in that series, if you count them as different games, and they're quite long, so you could do. And then Half-Life Alyx is, even if you don't, Half-Life Alyx is the 3rd in that series. So they have essentially done a 3rd game. They just haven't called it 3.
Yeah, there you go. TF2 Reloaded. There you go. Something like, I don't know, something like that. Just or just Team Fortress Reloaded, because it can't really be TF2. So it'd be Team Fortress
just call
Reloaded.
It Team Fortress 4.
Right, just skip it. Gaben, do it already, you ding dong.
Holy shit, TF2 still has more players than Overwatch 2. I love it.